Hey, everybody, listen, happy Tuesday. Welcome in the building. It's Trending Topic Tuesday, and I'm glad to see that y'all spending some time with the diva. We got stuff to talk about. I'm trying to get myself comfortable and situated here. We got stuff to talk about. It's Trending Topic Tuesday, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Confusion. And I'm just wondering how and why and when the people got confused. So last week, I want to say sometime last week, right? The defense team, they submitted their documents to the court, recommending what they say the judge should give Diddy as a sentence for his guilty charge on the 2-man act count. And they pretty much said time served. Okay, and they also went in last week and said they wanted an acquittal, which the judge still didn't answer, which I'm not shocked because he's not going to answer. The judge will answer on Thursday. The judge is going to answer on Thursday. And on Thursday, the judge is going to say no. And then on Friday, it will be the sentencing. Because that's the way this judge rolls. That's my prediction. The judge is going to answer that request on Thursday. He's going to say no, and no. And then he'll say, see you on Friday for the sentencing. Because historically, the way this judge has been going, everything he does not, you ain't lying, flip the script. He does not like Diddy. Every single thing that the prosecution has wanted and asked for in this trial, the judge said yes, even when it was illegal. Even when it wasn't legal, the judge said yes, and yes. The defense asked a question, asked for something. The judge was like, no. The prosecutors asked, and he said yes, and yes. We don't want that juror. Okay, that juror is out. This juror lied, but we want them to stay. Okay, they stayed. And at the end, the prosecution, the jury, they darn near handpicked themselves. They was mad when the verdict came back. So yesterday, the prosecution, they put in their letter to the judge, their documents to the judge, and what they was recommending as a sentence for Diddy. And their recommendation was 11 plus years and a $500K fine. They still coming at his pockets. They're mad and they letting their slips show. They're stinking mad and they letting their slips show. And Cassie, and people still come up under my comments. I'm unsubscribing, Diva. You are a Diddy lover. You don't care about women getting beat. And it sounds so ridiculous. I'll just go ahead and like and heart the comment. And you can go about your business and do what you want to do. Because I can't keep addressing the foolery. Now, I told y'all before. I graduated. I wasn't at the top of the class, but I was in the graduating class. I was in the number. I wasn't even in the top 10. Not even in the top 50, but I was in the graduating number, and I could put 2 and 2 together. 1 plus 1 will always equal 2. And I could put it together. So let me back it up for the people way in the back who want to keep saying, Diva, you crazy. No, you're getting played by Cassie. Just like in that courtroom, they said Kid Cudi. So Cassie played you and Diddy. He said yes. Cassie playing all of y'all. So Cassie writes a letter. She's afraid. She's petrified. She's scared. So her thing is, do not let Diddy out this jail jail, give him a long time behind bars. She said he is not redeemed. I guess she's psychic now. So she can change, her husband can change, all the people in her life can change, but she knows for a fact 10 toes down that Diddy didn't change. She knows this. But I'll let her slide with that for 1.2 seconds because I want to speak on this. And like they said, riddle me this. This man was so dangerous. You're so afraid. You're so petrified. The Southern District of New York brought this case against Diddy. This wasn't Cassie. Cassie was petrified, but she never, ever dialed 911 or went to the po-po. She filed a lawsuit because she wanted money. And in that lawsuit, everything she alleged was detrimental to his character. So follow me down this road for a minute. And hop on the train with me if you want, and if you follow me, and if you can. She filed a lawsuit in 2023. This is 2025. She filed a lawsuit in 2023. It was a little bit before the end of the year. It was the last quarter of 2023 she filed her lawsuit. And that lawsuit was damaging. It said a whole bunch of stuff about Diddy. He trafficked her, he beat her, he drugged her, he this, that, and the other. He said it in a lawsuit. And the whole world saw the lawsuit. Then the next day she gets paid. After that lawsuit was filed in 2023, they didn't come lock Diddy up. He didn't go to jail. He was still on the streets after he paid her. He was free for darn near a year after she filed her lawsuit and after he paid her. Somehow she managed to stay alive, but he's going to come for her. He's coming for her. But she filed the lawsuit in 2023. He was knocked down at the Metropolitan Detention Center from this whatever time she filed in 2023 for a whole year because they didn't lock him up until September 2024. But now, because she got on the stand and said the same stuff that was in her lawsuit, he's coming for her. You got to miss me with the BS. It don't make no sense. And if you ever heard real gangsters, they don't need to wait till they get out of jail to come for you. She claims he's everywhere. He know people, he this. Well, if he knew people and he wanted to get you like that, he could get you from behind bars. But he could have got you before he even went to jail because he was free a whole year after you sued him. If he was going to come for you, Cassie, he would have came for you. But she wants to drive this thing home. She wants to drive this bus all the way home, park it, and she's trying to hit a home run. But she's hitting foul balls, if you ask me. You say he didn't change. He has no remorse. He only admitted to the abuse because y'all saw the video, so forth and so on. I roll with her with that. But in her letter to the judge, she has zero respect for the jury. Because she told that judge in that letter, pretty much the jury got it wrong, and I need you to correct the wrong that the jury did. Where they do that at? The justice system claims you're going to have a trial, you're going to get a jury of your peers, and once they make the decision, boom, that's it. But all of these witness letters that they're writing, they want the judge to lock him up based on their feelings. It's a charge here, people. And then people keep coming in my comments talking about, Diva, are you crazy? 11 years is just about right. Right for what? There's people that take people's lives and don't do 11 years. I Googled the amount of celebrities that took somebody's life and never stepped foot in the jail. And you want this man to do 11 plus years over some sex? Caitlyn Jenner had a car accident. Somebody got unalived. Caitlyn Jenner didn't see a day in the jail. I love Brandy. Brandy had a car accident. Somebody was unalived. She never spent a second in the jail. I can't tell you the countless number of people that literally took someone's life, whether it was accident or not, and they never stepped foot in the jail. And y'all can do the remix on that Kyle Rittenhouse. You can do the remix on it. Go ahead and do the remix on it. But he ain't spent no 10 years behind bars. And so over the Mann Act, we want this man to be behind bars for 11 plus years. It don't make no sense. Cassie's petrified. If I was Diddy defense team, everything she's saying, she said in her 2023 lawsuit. If he was going to do something to her, he would have did it. She's petrified. We're going to move forward. And I don't know how anybody determines who really has been rehabilitated or not. So she going to tell us how she changed. But because he didn't apologize the way she wanted it, she going to say, well, he didn't change at all. The Southern District of New York need to do better. And Cassie, I wish you all the best. I really do. Because, at the end of the day, too, here go the other piece of the nonsense. The other piece of the nonsense is with Cassie. So your mother and father was willing to take a second mortgage out on their home to block a sex tape from coming out, but they wouldn't gather their coins together to get you out of this crazy relationship. Y'all got to make that make sense. Make that make sense. I will take a second mortgage out because I don't want no sex tape out of you. But I'm not going to use my money or sell my home or tell you just to simply come home and go back to your old bedroom. I allow you to stay with a monster. It's the foolery. Espar, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. It said, Diva, you're right. And when Cassie filed a lawsuit, she added she didn't want him to go to jail. Now she's scared. Did she not add that? But wait, let's do this. Didn't she say on the stand she still got love for Diddy? One minute you love him, the next minute he coming for you. It's the BS. But we're going to talk about it. So now, we did a story last night. If you missed last night's live, go back and watch. It was a good live. Just saying it because it was my live. But it was a good live. We had a good conversation. It was a mother. Her son at 19 was in the streets with a whole ARK-15, whatever that, terrorizing the folks. Now we got this singer David, because unfortunately sometimes what your kids do is not only going to haunt them, it's coming back to haunt you too. Now David got all of this swirling around him, underage girl, now she's gone, she was in his trunk, blah, 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 and a hoo. Well, now somebody did a fake 911 call to his parents' Texas home. Talking about they heard some pow, and the girl screamed, and the person is dead. So the cops rolling up to their house, And the dad already knew. He said, somebody playing with us. The kids. We're going to talk about it. And then my last story, this family from Pennsylvania. They're originally from the Dominican Republic. But the wife, she in her 30s. She was, may she rest in peace. Married. Had a 1-year-old boy here with her in the States in Pennsylvania. In the Dominican Republic, she had 3 kids there, 13 and under. So altogether, they have 4 kids. She's here working. She with the husband, the 1-year-old boy. At one of her jobs, she meets this 61-year-old man. And I guess she thought she was going to play him. You know, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So she was dating him, sleeping with him, getting money from him. He was paying her rent, doing all kind of other stuff for her. He fell in love with her and said, you know, leave your husband. She said, I ain't leaving my husband. He snapped. He snapped. He killed her husband, and the 1-year-old. And now they're doing the infamous GoFundMe so they could try to ship all 3 bodies back to the Dominican Republic for a proper burial. But now you got 3 kids that no longer have a mommy and daddy because you want to play somebody over a nickel, dollar, dime. If y'all get nothing from my channel, nothing from my channel. And if you just hear, you know, like the old Charlie Brown, the teacher, all you hear is wonk, 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 wonk. If you get nothing else, hear this and hear me loud and clear. It is okay. It is okay. If you only make a certain amount of money and the best you can do is be in your studio apartment that you can pay for yourself. Buy yourself some food and eat dinner at night. Without having to scheme and scam from someone to pay your rent or give you a nickel, dollar, or dime. Depend on yourself. They say God bless the child that has his own. When you play with matters of the heart, you can make the most sane person go bananas. Don't do it. So now she's gone, her husband's gone, a child is gone, and 3 kids have no parents. For what? Because you wanted somebody to play somebody over some rent money? Confusion. Cassie's confused. Because she think that we think or can't think and don't know that she full of crap. We got David's family. There was something that went on with him. Some confusion, something. Because he's wrapped up in this mess. And you got an 8-year-old sister. And allegedly he met this girl when she was about 10 or 11. You're confused when you want to look at a baby and have a relationship with them. And then his mother. You're confused. When you say I do, the only person you're supposed to be doing anything with is that person you said I do to. Listen, people, y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Tuesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Confusion. It's Diddy and Cassie. It's David the singer. And it's the mom, dad, and baby from PA that lost their life for no reason whatsoever. Thank you, people, for the choo-choo in the chat. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Julius. Hey, Callie.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button. Hey. And excuse my method for going off in one of the stories. I'm just giving y'all a heads up in the chat.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Panna.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. You know what? Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna do what story am I gonna do first? I might as well do this David to sing the story. You know, this thing is um Antoine Anthony. I hope I'm saying your name right. You say I don't think she wrote that letter. I think her lawyer did. Well, she at some point, you know what? You got to tell the lawyers and everybody else that I'm done. I testified while I was pregnant. I gave y'all the evidence that I had. It's a wrap. I'm done. But I'm going to do this David story first. The sad part is in these situations when you are a celebrity and something happens, your family is going to be impacted. Well, you know what? I back that up. You don't even have to be a celebrity and something like this happens. Your family is going to be impacted. That cheerleader with the baby in the closet, it didn't just impact her, it impacted her entire family. The story I did last night, that he want to be a vigilante in the streets and doing illegal barricades, and now he got double, triple life in prison. It impacted his family because his mother's about to have a nervous breakdown because that judge sentenced her son to life in prison. Let me go ahead and share screen. Hold on one second. So, David, cops rushed to parents' Texas home for swatting call. It's just so sad. Let me see if I have to try to back up to the body cam footage. We'll see if I can get there. I'll let it spin and then hopefully we'll get in. Police body cam shows officers swarming David's Texas family home just days after Celeste Rivers' body was discovered in his Tesla, responding to a report of gunfire. The footage shows cops walking up to David's Hempstead home.
I'll go out wide and keep you covered. You want to tap the door? Just wait for me. Because I'm going to keep you covered. Good. I got you covered. Come right here. There's too many windows. Here, knock on the door. We got a phone call from here saying that somebody was dead. Is there somebody else that lives on this property that has your address? What's your address? That's it.
That's it. That's what actually
We got an address. There was a gunshot and a woman screamed.
What?
I'm serious. That's why we came up here like this because and then they talked to the caller. Whoever they were talking to, he said that there's a person dead.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not you close the door.
Knock on the door. We need to talk to him. We ain't got time for this.
Ma'am, we got to figure out what's going on so we can leave, okay?
Very advised. We made contact. They said nothing happened here. She shut the door. Now she's calling 911.
That's clear. We haven't received a call.
I believe she's going to be in the process.
Go ahead, give him a call if you want to verify it. Okay.
All right, she's calling you now. There's more that went on.
Can you repeat, sir? Broken traffic.
Huh? That's not normal activity. If you were at the wrong address, they'd be concerned about somebody else. Like really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sorry to bother you, but somebody called and said there was something. I mean, there was a person that they called on themselves. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, there's somebody dead.
Someone's dead.
That's what we have. I mean, we're going to take caution, you know what I mean? We're trying to scare you on this. This house is way off the roadway.
So you just opened the gate and came in?
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it back. I have a gate just like it.
I think it's kind of like
Yeah, when it's something like this, when they say somebody's dead, their life matters more than, you know what I mean? I didn't damage your gate. I just opened it. Oh, it ain't on their phone.
And this is not a Texas.
Yeah, that's an out-of-state number.
Someone's missing those. Someone's
But
missing
whoever it would pinged here though, because wherever they call from, it pings and sends it to dispatch.
What?
So like whenever you call 911, wherever you are, it sends like a ping that's how they know the address.
And this address came up to this number?
Yes, ma'am. That's where he was meeting. County to engine 42.
So is there somebody on my property?
It could be. We'll check the property for you.
Yes, please.
So we'll ride around.
This
If
is
you
not
can give me a
an
layout, how's the property? Like, does it go further? Like,
No, no, it doesn't go any further back. It's right here and then it goes
Follow the
right
fence, there's a gate here, and the fence around, which is a private fence.
Well, him and I will ride around and check, and then we'll leave. You know?
here. Yeah, okay. So that was a false alarm. See, I don't like this kind of thing. So if I really do have an emergency, then
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry.
Well, if you do have an emergency, you know we're going to be here.
Okay.
We're going to get here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right.
So she's afraid because that people are playing, and then if they really have an emergency, then what? So police body cam shows officers swarming Davis, Texas family home just days after Celeste Rivers' body was discovered in his Tesla, responding to a report of gunfire. The footage shows cops walking up to Davis' Hempstead home with guns drawn on September 18th after a 911 caller claimed they heard gunshots outside the home, a woman screaming, and someone dead. When officers knocked, it was the singer's parents who answered, looking stunned and very confused.
But it's just me and my daughter, the only females here. She's 8.
Who was
Four
the
of us live
person?
in the house. My son?
Your son?
Yes.
Okay, he's upstairs?
Yes. My daughter is upstairs as well.
So he has a younger brother and sister. So you can also hear in the audio captured by the body cam, Davis' mom telling cops there are 4 people who live in the house and that her daughter and son are upstairs. David has a younger brother and a sister, so it seems David was not there at the time, or if so, his parents didn't mention him. David's dad can be heard repeatedly saying someone is messing with us. His mom is then concerned someone might be on their property, and cops assure them they will check before leaving. According to the report, officers stuck around for less than 20 minutes before bouncing. No incident report was filed by police, so it was just clearly a swatting prank. As we've been reporting, David's real name, David Burke, is tied to the shocking discovery of Celeste's body earlier this month. Her remains were found in his Tesla in LA, and sources have told us David's friends believe Celeste was 19. She's been reported missing from her Lake Elsinore home in early 2024. Authorities believe she may have been dead for weeks before her remains were found. David has gone radio silent, canceling the rest of his U.S. shows on September 19th and putting his deluxe album Rollout Weathered on hold. He was not seen in public since ending his tour and moving out of his Hollywood Hills home, where detectives executed a search warrant. I feel for the parents. This is the beginning probably of what they're going to go through. Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much thoughts on this other than it must be very frightening to have law enforcement coming to your home in the middle of the night and with such anxiety because they think they're coming to something, a house fired and people unalived. And so perhaps it would be best for the family to be living someplace else until this situation settles down, particularly since they have young children. I think that's what I would do because I had 2 little ones in the house. But other than that, no more comment.
Yeah, I would move too, honestly, because I think it's scary, and it might get even scarier for them. Julius, your thoughts?
I do like how the police were cautious and, they asked the routine questions. They weren't accusatory. Not all police officers, when they go to homes, they are not like that. And they truly asked, okay, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And when they realized that this family is, especially the mom, is outright terrified, they're like, ma'am, don't worry about it. We'll search. She's like, can you please search my property? I don't know why this is happening. You heard the panic in her voice when she said that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ma'am, we will do a search. We'll drive around. I'll say this again. And I assume this is to do with the David person, correct?
Yeah.
So sinister things happen when sinister spirits are near. And I just think if I was that mother, like Miss Felicia said, like you said, I will pack my house and bounce. Nobody would know where my new house is at, unless those I can trust. But I will be out.
Thank you. Okay, Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, the mom and they seem like they oblivious to any of this stuff. I mean, you got a 19, 20-year-old son that's been messing with a young girl since she was 10, and you don't know nothing about it, or you don't want to know because he's a singer or whatever and making some money, and you turn your head the other way or just don't even care to know, because this doesn't make no sense. I mean, all roads lead to him. The mama must know. The papa got to know. Somebody got to know. They can't be oblivious that their son is out here and somebody was found dismembered in his vehicle. I don't know how they are not enraged. First thing I would have thought, what's going on here? She shouldn't be, I'm not going to say she shouldn't be shocked, but if you got a child and somebody was found unalived in their car, I mean, you should be real concerned. I'm surprised they probably hadn't gone to the police before time. So it just seems like it's a matter of time. That's it.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
My thing is, who in his camp called the police? Because I'm quite sure his parents' address is not really out there. And then we see the other day she was at the pawn shop getting a pow pow. So I'm thinking if they said that if she, they saying that because they saw her, it was on the internet, she getting a pow pow. And now they saying that they heard pow pow noise and a woman screaming. And what I'm saying is, like, who know where her address is? That's the thing about the internet. You can put somebody's name in it, and they will tell you exactly where that person stay, what's in that person's yard, where that person live. So this internet is very, very dangerous. But yeah, we saw her the other day buying a pow pow. So I don't know if the people trying to insinuate that they had something to do with going on with that girl or whatever. But this is, like Wayne said, this is crazy. Like, there's no way I'm finna let my son mess around with somebody that young. That's just totally nasty to me. And yeah, they probably getting the money off of what he's doing, but that's some sick mess. That is totally sick. And like I said, hopefully she got the power to protect herself, because maybe she know more than what we know, and that somebody might be coming for her. Because, child, this is ridiculous. As Felicia would say, who raised y'all? But that's all I got to
Callie?
Yeah, it's weird that the mom was so oblivious, because when I saw her at the pawn shop, I assumed that people had been threatening her. I'm pretty sure they are, because the internet has gone crazy with this story. And it's so funny, no matter how much the media is actually trying to feed us other information. It's so funny to watch the behind the scenes live with Harvey, because he's trying to like feed us these other stories. Nobody wants to hear about it. They want to find out what happened to Celeste, what's going on with this case. That's what people, they don't care about Taylor Swift. They don't care about Cardi B. They don't want to hear any of that stuff. They want to hear about what is going on with this case. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure that people have been threatening them. That could have been why the officer was so nice. Maybe they have already been working with law enforcement. But unfortunately, they're going to have to move. I mean, it's not fair to the parents or to the younger kids. We have to, yes, David was young, but David is grown. And David is not only grown, David was grown living 4 states away. So it's not even, he was nowhere around these people. They probably had never even heard of this girl. they didn't. I highly doubt if they knew he was talking to this girl. So to say like, well, what were they doing that they probably didn't know he was doing this. And then at this point, the more and more information comes out, I'm not even convinced he didn't think she was a little bit older at this point. So he's still wrong. It's still wrong. Even if he thought she was only a couple of years younger, it's still wrong. But, you know, Elvis Presley married, what, a 15-year-old? Prince started talking to his wife when she was 14. I keep bringing this up. There are still states, I think, where the age of consent is 14. So we cannot act like this never happens in society. It's wrong, but it's people still out here doing stuff like this. You know, it's as crazy as it sounds. And also, I think that Celeste, in one of the videos, she did mention that her family is, or either, I think she said she might have actually been born, I think, in Ecuador or somewhere. So I don't know what the culture is in that country. We still have some places in the world where girls are still getting married at 15. Here in the United States, we have these places. So I'm not making no excuses for nothing. I still find it very, very odd that someone could have a deceased person be found in their vehicle and they not be put under arrest. Even if they are let out on bail and they have to prove their case, or if the charges are later dropped or what have you. Not only is it a deceased body of a person, it's a deceased body of a reported missing child. Because people keep forgetting she was reported missing. This case is so bizarre. And I don't think they're letting him hang himself because he's not even talking to the press. This is not like Scott Peterson or that other couple where they were doing interview after interview saying, oh, I'm looking for the person, I'm looking for the person. We ain't heard from David. So I don't know what they could be gaining by not arresting him unless they have another suspect.
No, they said they're waiting for.
What's going on?
Now, I don't know about him per se, but they're waiting for the coroner's report before they make their next move. Because they need to know the cause of death, right? Because that's going to, because when you arrest somebody, you got to have some charges.
He had a dead missing child in his car.
Yeah, but my car is in my lot right now. Somebody, I don't know, they're not telling us if the car looked like it was broken into, they look like the person used the keys. There's a lot of details we don't know. But somebody could do something in my car right now. It's outside in a parking lot. It's not in my garage. That don't mean I know what's going on with it or whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna back up just a little bit because you're saying, you know, in some, you know, wait, I'm just gonna mute you for a second because we're getting feedback. In some countries, whatever, you know, people are getting married at 14. I just want to throw this out there, which is a known. By the time they found her, her birthday would have passed, and that would have made her 15. But technically, they're saying she died weeks before, so she was still only 14. So at the end of the day, people been saying, you know, they've been together for a minute, and she was running away and coming back home, running away, coming back home. So at the very least, we can back this girl up to at least 13. He was messing with this girl. This is sick. And from what the people on those other platforms, they're saying that she was as young as 11, 12, allegedly, when they first started, I guess, chatting and being friends or whatever, which is extremely young. And especially just thinking that he has an 8-year-old sister. It's just crazy to me.
It's just odd. I can see if they arrested him and added additional charges.
What did they arrest him for, Callie? What did they arrest him for?
He had the body of a dead missing child in his car.
He would have to prove that he was on tour. He was on tour. So you would have to prove some things before you could just arrest me saying just because the body was in your car. If the body was in a garage, in my house, in the car, different, because a random person can't just get in my garage, right? But the car was on the street. Let me move forward. Savannah, your thoughts? And yeah, Mom Deuce, the truth will come out soon.
Hey Diva. So I'm seeing this story a little different here. These people were a victim of a crime. Somebody actually did a swatting call on them. And as far as I know, swatting is a crime because it can lead to some dangerous consequences. So I can understand why the mother got up and was confused and trying to figure out why she has law enforcement at her door on her property stating that there was someone in distress in her home. And not only is she got two younger, I assume his brother and sister are younger upstairs, but I immediately thought of the story with the lady who was, when law enforcement came to her home, she was merely cooking at the kitchen, at the stove, and we all remember what her consequences were when she tried to turn the stove off to conserve the pot of hot water she was boiling. But those calls are dangerous. They can lead up. They have a potential to escalate. Especially, if those law enforcement officers came in there with a hot and heavy attitude. Thank goodness that these two were level-headed. But it can cause fear and panics in the regular citizens. They didn't know that was David's parents that they were coming to address a distress call to. So I agree that these people have to move, but I think that they are a victim of a prank swatting call, and those are crimes. They're a form of terrorism, and I had to be schooled on them because I was wondering what the heck a swatting was. But these are people who can find your information online and make a false prank call, because they'll always justify it under a prank call, although they're wasting resources, they're causing panic, and it is a form of terrorism. So I'm feeling more for the parents because they were victims of a crime that night. And all side with what's going on with their son and what he's being accused of. I'm looking at the facts that happened that night on the porch, which was unfortunate, and why she looks lost as well.
All right, I'm about to move into the next story, but I'm gonna just throw this out there. These are diva thoughts. I think the cops knew exactly who they were. I think they were alerted. I think they were alerted before this swatting call happened that, there's the singer David, his parents live in this town, they live in this house, blah, blah, blah. Because when they went to that door, they were pretty calm the whole time. When they went there, they was extremely calm for this to be just a strange call about this swatting and someone shot and someone dead and someone screamed. They were very calm. And then when they opened the door and closed the door, they took that extremely well and calmly also. And if this was just a perfect stranger, a perfectly just random thing, them closing the door in the cop's face wouldn't have went the way that it went. And they black too. It just wouldn't have went down like that. So I was under the mindset when I saw that. I watched it a couple of times. I said, okay, these cops were alerted. These cops know. And I don't think this was the first incident for these parents in terms of what their son is going through and them getting some type of phone calls or whatever the case may be. And the reason why I also say that is, again, I listened to this thing several times, and the dad knew right away. He said, somebody playing with us. And he said it several times. So I think there's a lot of knowns. I think the cops kind of know. I think that they probably been getting some threats, unfortunately. yeah, because I just was studying that thing and I said, okay, this ain't sitting right with me, that they could just go to these people's door after they hear that there was some pow, somebody dead, and they close the door on them and it's cool. It just don't work like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and roll into this next story.
If somebody's getting, let me just say this real quick. If they went on a call because somebody was unalive, I thought they are obligated. They have to go in
and check the house.
Come
on, Wayne. They would have had
to do that. You go to somebody's house, okay, you gonna take their word for it. Oh, ain't nobody here.
You are not. And oh my, it's just my son and my daughter upstairs and blah blah blah. You are not with a call like that. No. So let me go ahead and roll into this next story. I'm gonna roll into this next story, and the next story is the couple that unfortunately they lost their life. Their baby lost their life because the mother, and listen, we only got the words from the person that took their life. They was having a relationship. He pretty much felt he got played. And hold on one second. Okay, let me see. Man executes couple, throws baby in lake after wife refused to leave husband for him. Okay, said the police. That's the couple. That's the young baby that lost his life. That's the man that did this. The suspect allegedly, I just want to make sure I don't have any crazies in the chat there. The suspect allegedly told police that the baby was alive when he threw him face down in muddy water, and that he decided to kill the infant rather than bring it to a hospital for fear of getting caught after murdering the child's parents. A man in Pennsylvania just going from one murder charge to 3, as the Reading Police Department now believes he was responsible for killing a young couple and their infant son. Initially, Jose Luis Rodriguez, 61, had been charged in the murder of Junior Cabrera Colon, 31, speaking in a press conference covered by WFMZ on Monday. Berks County District Attorney John Adams announced that Rodriguez was facing 2 additional first-degree murder charges for the deaths of Cabrera Colon's wife and son. The outlet reports that the bodies of Geraldina, and I'm not going to mess up her last name, 31, and her 1-year-old son, Jaden Jr., were found 2 weeks ago in a remote area township in Berks County, and that's in Pennsylvania. Rodriguez was already behind bars in relation to the death of Cabrera Colon, whose body was found on Saturday, September the 13th. On Friday, September the 19th, the same day, Rodriguez was formally charged with the murder of Cabrera Colon. An unidentified woman's body was found in a grassy field. And when police began investigating her death, they noted that she appeared to be Geraldina, who was previously listed as missing along with her son. We'll take a listen.
Need to open the door to more homebuyers? Hyper-target homebuyers in your area down to the zip. Learn how Flex data-driven ad solutions can drive homebuyers to your real estate business. Connect with Flex.com.
Developing first at 5, a man is now charged with killing a woman and her 1-year-old baby boy. The Berks County District Attorney announcing additional murder charges against 61-year-old Jose Rodriguez. He'd previously been charged with killing the victim's husband, Junior Cabrera Colon. Investigators laying out the horrific timeline before each member of the family is killed. This is the 5 o'clock news. I'm Jason Martinez, and we do want to warn you, these details are just incredibly upsetting and hard to hear. But you may remember the mother and son were reported missing earlier this month, and then just days later, their bodies were found. Kelly, you were there for today's painful announcement. What are you learning?
Yeah, Jason, that's right. Extremely painful to hear. The investigators did say today this is still an active investigation, but did say there was some sort of intimate relationship between the defendant and one of the 3 victims, and clearly something went wrong. The DA said the defendant did confess to all 3 murders. He called this case extremely difficult and said they are looking at possibly pursuing the death penalty.
Unfortunately, in our jobs, we deal with bad things all the time. This is a different level.
For the first time, the Berks County District Attorney outlining the horrific timeline of the murders of 31-year-old Junior Cabrera Colon, his wife, 31-year-old Geraldina Peguero Manciba, and their 1-year-old son, Jaden Jr. Peguero, allegedly at the hands of 61-year-old Jose Rodriguez. The DA says he confessed to all 3 murders.
The loss of life of these adults that were killed was unnecessary. The loss of life of that 1-year-old was cruel. It was horrible.
The DA's office announced the arrest of Rodriguez for the murder of Junior last week. Investigators say he was shot in the head, found early on September 13th in the brush along River Road in Bear Park, where there is now a growing memorial.
That is the investigation that started all of this, the finding of the body in Bear Park. But it was actually the last murder that he committed.
The DA says Reading police learned that no one had heard from Junior's wife and their 1-year-old son since the day before, September 12th. Cell phone records led them to an access road off East Holler Lane in Ontalani Township, where they found Geraldina's body, and days later, not far away, they found Jaden in a shallow pond. The DA says Rodriguez and Geraldina had some sort of intimate relationship, meeting at least a year ago when they worked in a warehouse together, and he was infuriated that she would not leave her husband and was taking his money. The DA says Rodriguez admitted to picking Geraldina and Jaden up on September 12th with the intention to kill her, and that he shot Geraldina once in the back of the head and threw Jaden in nearby muddy water.
I can't imagine anything more horrifying than throwing that 1-year-old child into that pond of water. And that child is left there to die.
Rodriguez allegedly told investigators he shot Junior near his last listed address on Center Avenue when Junior confronted him about his involvement with Geraldina.
Mr. Rodriguez had no prior criminal history. So something happened. No matter what, no one deserved to die.
The DA said today investigators recovered substantial video evidence as well as physical evidence that Rodriguez actually led them to, including a gun, as well as some of Geraldina's belongings. Now, Rodriguez told investigators he acted alone, but part of their active and ongoing investigation is to determine if anybody else was involved. Jason.
Kelly Rule there. Thank you very much, Kelly.
So sad. The following day, Jaden's body was found in a marshy area just 150 yards away from where police recovered his mother's body, per WFMZ. Both deaths were root homicides after separate autopsies, with police quickly looking toward Rodriguez as a likely suspect. According to the criminal complaint revealed by Law and Crime, Galina was seen getting into the backseat of a white Nissan Quest registered to Rodriguez at approximately 8:30 p.m. on the previous Friday, September 12th. She was carrying her son in her arms using cell phone data from both Galina and Rodriguez. Police pinged both of them at a specific location. In interviews with Rodriguez, he reported and admitted that this was where he planned to kill her, per the complaint. As detailed in the report, Rodriguez claimed that they were in an intimate relationship, though Adams asserted the exact nature of their relationship was unclear per CBS News, and that he had been paying for aspects of her life, including rent for her apartment. It was when she told him she did not want to leave her husband that Rodriguez said he became infuriated, per the report, as she was constantly taking his money. Adams added that the pair had previously worked together at a warehouse, per ABC affiliate. Rodriguez allegedly shot her in the back of the head, according to investigators, before driving to a separate location where he dumped her body. He then allegedly drove down the street and threw the baby Jaden into the marshy area of the lake. He told police that the baby was alive when he threw him face down in the muddy water, which was confirmed in the autopsy by the evidence of mud present in the lungs, indicating that Jaden was alive at the time of submersion. His cause of death was listed as freshwater drowning. Police reported that Rodriguez explained his decision to throw the baby into the lake rather than bring him to a hospital and leave him someplace alive as simple as fear of getting caught. I can't imagine anything more horrifying than throwing a 1-year-old child into a pond of water and that child is left there to die, Adams said at the Monday press conference, Fox affiliate WTXF, adding that this case is a different level and makes you want to cry. As it turns out, Rodriguez, who allegedly gave a timeline of the murders, revealed that despite being the first body found, that the husband was actually the third person he killed after he was told that the wife would not leave her husband for him. Rodriguez allegedly admitted that he met him in Reading that day after killing his wife and child. Like Garnina, the husband was shot in the back of the head. Rodriguez initially told the police the shooting was in self-defense, per the news. He claimed that they were fighting about his relationship with a wife, per CBS News, and that the verbal argument became physical. Rodriguez then claimed that the husband dropped the gun, which he subsequently picked up and shot him with. He then admitted putting the body into the car and driving him to the park where he left him. The body was found on the morning of September 13th, with Rodriguez quickly identified as the suspect in the shooting death. He ultimately confessed to the murder, per police, on September the 18th, just one day before they would find the wife's body. After he'd been charged with all three murders, CBS News reports that Rodriguez showed Berks County investigators where he stashed her purse, as well as the murder weapon used to kill her. We're still in initial parts of the investigation. I would suggest most likely that his version is only partially accurate, Adams said. The loss of life of these adults that were killed was unnecessary. The loss of life of that 1-year-old was cruel. It was horrible. A GoFundMe purportedly established in hopes of getting their bodies returned to the couple's native Dominican Republic for a dignified burial asserts that the couple had 3 additional children aged 13, 10, and 8 still living there. Rodriguez is being held in Berks County Jail without bail on 3 first-degree murder charges, 3 third-degree murder charges, 2 counts of abuse of a course, 2 counts of possession of an instrument of crime, tampering with evidence, and carrying a firearm without a license. Adams said that his office is considering seeking a death penalty, but no final decision has been made yet. Rodriguez's next court date is scheduled for October the 3rd. Very sad story. Julius, your thoughts?
That man needs to be locked up. You did that for what? For what?
Hold on one second, Julius. Mo Better, thank you. I'm not shocked. Mo Better just told us the judge just denied Diddy's retrial, and I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked
by that either.
And Friday, Diddy better brace himself, because this judge, I think,
that man better pray.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Julius. Go ahead.
Okay, back to the topic at hand. That man is a demon. You did this unaliving for what? For what? To feel better about yourself? What? You was probably being creepy. The young man defended his family and himself, and you didn't want to go down like a punk. So you decided to unalive. You are a coward. And I hope you get cleaned up. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, cheating nothing good ever happens out of cheating. Callie, your thoughts?
I agree. Like, this man got nothing from this, but he just lost his freedom, took these people's lives, and what did this get him? Like, you don't own people. If you don't take the risk of dating someone that's married, you have to understand that that person could get back with their spouse. You know that going in. It's not like you didn't know she was married. And even if you guys were married, you don't own people. You experience them. So if she wanted to go be with that man, let her go on. You go find you another woman. Now you didn't ruin your own life. You an old man gonna pass away in prison after you have unalived these people, including a baby who did nothing to anyone. In my opinion, this guy was nuts, and he was gonna do something to somebody for some reason. Even if this hadn't happened.
Thank you, Callie. I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
It takes a real demon to unalive a child, an innocent baby, and then leave them in a ditch of water. I have no words for this story. This is just evil, demonic. It's just, I mean, the worst of humanity. She knew that he was no good when she was messing with him. I just can't understand And it has to be for monetary gain on her part because he was in his 60s and she's young. I don't get it. This is so sad.
And the part I didn't like either, so you doing this, you cheating, you gaming the system with this guy, and you bring your baby around him. I mean, people need to get, I don't condone cheating. No, I can't stand it. I hate it. But if you're going to do it, then you need to get the rule book on it. You don't involve your kids. I don't care if they newborns. You don't involve your kids. Kids have a memory bank. You think this kid don't know mommy getting in this car with somebody that's not daddy? Wayne, your thoughts? Wayne, are you there? Okay, Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Wayne said he had an emergency or something happened.
Okay.
Yeah. My thing is, and don't come after me in the chat. Don't come after me. She caused all this, even though he got involved as well. But you got to get money from a man to pay your rent when you already married. Why are you not getting the money from him? Why are you getting the money from this man to pay your rent when you're married? And if this man is doing all this for you, maybe you need to leave your husband and been with him. Because you can't play around with people's hearts. Because you don't know how people take things and how you affect people from the inside. This man feel like he got played. And no, I do not agree with him taking nobody's life. That's not what I'm saying. But when you go out and get yourself in these situations, knowing that you're married, you don't know what that person is thinking. This person probably falling in love and you just using them as a trick. But you got to get the money from this man to pay your rent, then you need to leave the husband on out the way, because if he's not doing what he needs to make it for you to survive, that you got to go on the outs and get money. And then you taking this man money. And you, like I said, you can't hate the player, you got to hate the game. But you taking this man money. This man felt like he's getting used. He's getting played. Everybody don't react the same way when they get heartbroken. And no, he had no reason doing it to them babies or to the woman or to the father. But my girl, if the man wasn't doing, if your husband wasn't doing the paying your rent, maybe you need to go out and get a second job, or he get a second job, and you stay your butt at home and leave that man feelings alone. Because you was out there playing with this man feelings, and look what done happened. Now he ain't got rid of all them. She still got kids out there, and now he's gone because they're gonna probably give him the needle. He probably gonna get the needle, or the I don't think they use the gas chamber anymore. But anyway, now he inside himself up for fail, and I know he kicking himself in the butt. I know he is, because the stuff that he did, it was horrific. It was totally horrific. But this man was totally hurt. But like you say, you gotta. Everybody don't deal with a broken heart the same way. She was the mastermind behind all this, because you should have stayed your butt with your husband. You shouldn't have been out there cheating. And if you wanted this man, you should have left your husband alone. You wanted your cake, ice cream, and pie, and things just didn't work out the way they should. And that's just a sick situation that he went around and did all this. And I know people are going to say, well, he shouldn't have did this, he shouldn't have did that. She shouldn't have did it either. And I'm not condoning the unaliving. Don't get me wrong on that. He still had no reason to do that. But everybody don't handle a broken heart the same way. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Katrina. I'm with you though. Just stop playing with the people. Stop playing with the people. So all of this for some rent. Now you dead. Now your other 3 kids, your kid is dead, and your other 3 kids don't have no mother and father. Like really? And especially, okay, I'm with you. I was starved, sleep on the floor with a candlelight before I show up my days with someone going crazy on me. You got people now that they want you to sleep with them because they bought you a piece of chicken. So you got this man paying your rent and giving you all this money, and then you sleeping with him, and you think he's not gonna lose his mind, and you a young girl, he's 61, and you sleeping with him? Yeah, he lost his natural mind. And like we all saying, nobody's saying this right, but stuff happens. Stop playing with people. I'm not going to be that desperate for my rent. And this boy was only one. So you were sleeping. You had to be sleeping with him and your husband. I can't. I'm going to move forward. May she rest in peace. Her husband got killed behind this nonsense. And so did her baby boy. We're going to roll into this last story, and it's Cassie writing her letter. But now we know in real time, and I'm not shocked. I knew the judge was going to deny it. He should have just denied it the day they was in court and stopped playing games. This judge, the judge too, the judge is playing us like we straight stupid. He always want to give it a day or two. I'm going to think about it, and then I'm going to come back and let y'all know my decision on if I'm going to let him out on bail, or if I'm going to let him do this or let him do that. When you already know you straight want to say no. So he denied the acquittal. He denied the retrial. And honey, all I can say is brace yourself, Diddy. And I think if I was Diddy, I would have kept begging Trump. I don't care what I would have had to do. I would have personally kept begging Trump for for a pardon, because this judge just don't like you. And the Southern District of New York is embarrassed. So they think they're going to make it up by giving you this large sentence as if you got found guilty of all the harsher charges. This is the nastiest scenario ever. Let's go through Cassie's letter. So Diddy sentencing. Cassie asked judge to consider the many lives that Sean Combs has upended. Diddy will always be the same cruel, power-hungry, manipulative man that he is, Cassie wrote. She's not? Ahead of Diddy's sentencing, prosecutors on Tuesday, September 30th, argued that the Bad Boy Records founder should get more than 11 years behind bars, included in the filing. Viewed by Complex is a letter from Cassie, who also testified at Diddy's trial. If there's one thing I learned from this experience, is that the victims and survivors will never be safe. Cassie wrote early in her 2-page letter, available to read in full later in this post. Although I can hope for justice and accountability, I come not to trust anything. I hope that your decision consider the truths at hand that the jury failed to see. And how disrespectful is that to a jury? That she's telling the jury, y'all got an F, so I'm asking the judge to fix your F. In July, Diddy was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but found not guilty of the more serious racketeering and sex trafficking charges, as Complex Sean reported at the time. An audible gasp was heard in the courtroom when the not guilty verdict on sex trafficking was announced. Cassie letters joined in Tuesday's filing by a separate letter from her parents, includes mentions of thoughts of her taking her life and expression of concern about Diddy or his associates coming after her and her family should he be released. Per Cassie, Diddy's sentence, which his lawyers previously argued should be no longer than 14 months, should reflect the reality of the evidence and my lived experience as a victim, while also considering the many lives that Sean Combs has upended. Cassie disputed descriptions of Diddy as a changed man, saying he has no interest in any such change. How does she know? He will always be the same cruel, power-hungry, manipulative man that he is, Cassie wrote. Earlier this month, letters in support of a lighter sentence were made public. Among them was one from Young Miami, who says she came to know a different person than the one often betrayed during her relationship with Diddy. In my personal experience, Sean is not a danger or a threat to the community, the City Girls alum wrote. Diddy's sentencing is currently slated for October 3rd, but below, read Cassie's letter in full. Dear Judge Submaranian, I have been in a cycle of thought and then overthought writing this letter to you. If there is one thing I have learned from this experience, it is that victims and survivors will never be safe. Although I can hope for justice and accountability, I have come to not trust anything. I hope that your decision consider the truth at hand that the jury failed to see. For days in May, while 9 months pregnant with my son, I testified in front of a packed courtroom about the most traumatic and horrifying chapter of my life. I testified from age 19, Sean Combs used violence, threats, substances, and control over my career to trap me in an over decade of abuse. He groomed me into performing repeated sex acts with hired male sex workers during multi-day freak-offs, which occurred nearly weekly. I was forced into lingerie and heels, told exactly how to look, and plied with drugs and alcohol so he could control me like a puppet. These events were degrading and disgusting, leaving me with infections, illnesses, and days of physical and emotional exhaustion before he demanded it all again. Sex acts became my full-time job, used as the only way to stay in his good graces. I testified that I learned to read Sean Combs' signals, knowing that when he spoke of freak-offs, he was demanding them, and that refusing meant punishment, losing my car, my phone, or worse. He controlled every part of my livelihood and threatened to destroy my reputation by leaking sex tapes, a threat he repeated often. His power over me eroded my independence and sense of self until I had no choice but to submit. When he believed I had wronged him or was significantly responsive, he also threatened people around me and those close to me, including my family. I regularly worried that displeasing him meant putting my family and friends' safety at risk. I testify how beyond these threats, Sean Combs frequently used violence to get his way. Over the nearly 11 years we were together, Sean Combs would hit me, punch me, stomp me on my face, my head, pull my hair, and throw my body to the ground and against the wall. The jury saw pictures of my bruises on my back, Combs kicking me, and saw the deep gash over my eye he caused when he slammed me into a bed frame. The entire courtroom watched actual footage of Combs kicking and beating me as I tried to run away from a freak-off in 2016. People watched the footage dozens of times, seeing my body thrown to the ground, my hands over my head, curled in a fetal position to shield me from the worst blows. This physical violence caused bruises that makeup artists paid for by Sean Combs would cover up, as well as permanent scars all over my body. I wonder why she didn't sue all these makeup artists too. During my time with Combs, I was in a constant state of hypervigilance, as I was always anticipating demands for sex acts or otherwise fearing retribution for any perceived slight. My descent into substance abuse was directly correlated with his increased control over my body, my money, my freedom, and my free will. I used those drugs to push through the horrifying sex acts he demanded and to numb myself to the physical pain and emotional turmoil I was constantly in. While the defense attorneys at trial suggested that my time with Combs was akin to a great modern love story, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing about this story is great, modern, or loving. This was a horrific decade of my life, stained by abuse, violence, forced sex, and degradation. I spent the last 7 years of my life slowly rebuilding myself, physically getting clean from the drug abuse Sean forced and encouraged, and mentally understanding how to live with a seemingly insurmountable level of trauma. The horrors I endured drove me to have thoughts of taking my life, one I almost followed through on. If not for my family's intervention and urging that I seek professional care, I have been to rehab and have taken part in dozens of types of therapy modalities to confront, compartmentalize, and cope with the horrific memories of sexual and emotional abuse I endured for nearly 10 years. While what he did to me is always present, I'm slowly learning how to live my life free of fear and horrors I endured, and doing so and fully devoted to my husband and my children. I still have nightmares and flashbacks on a regular and everyday basis and continue to require psychological care to cope with my past. My worries that Sean Combs or his associates will come after me and my family is my reality. I have in fact moved my family out of New York area, and I'm keeping as private and as quiet as I possibly can because I'm so scared that if he walks free, his first actions will be swift retribution towards me and others who spoke up against his abuse at trial. As much progress as I have made in recovering from his abuse, I remain very much afraid of what he is capable of and the malice he undoubtedly harbors towards me for having the bravery to tell the truth. His defense attorney claims he's a changed man and wants to mentor abusers. I know firsthand what real mentorship means, and this disgusts me. He is not being truthful. I know that who he was to me, the manipulator, the aggressor, the abuser, the trafficker, is who he is as a human. He has no interest in changing or becoming better. He will always be the same cruel, power-hungry, manipulative man that he is. When I came out with my allegations in my civil case, he flatly denied them again and again. It was only after actual video footage corroborated the exact words in my civil complaint that he issued an insincere apology on the internet. Thanks to the footage in my testimony, this is also something he will forever be associated with. For over a decade, Sean Combs made me feel powerless and unimportant, but my experience was real, horrific, and deserves to be considered. While the jury did not seem to understand or believe that I engaged in free calls because of the force and coercion the defendant used against me, I know this is the truth. And his sentence should reflect the reality of the evidence and my lived experience as a victim. Reliving in detail the events and truths described throughout the trial, and this letter causes me tremendous emotional pain. I'm trying with all that I am to move on. I hope that your sentencing decision reflects the strength it took for victims of Sean Combs to come forward. I hope that your decision considers the many lives that Sean Combs has upended with his abuse and control. I thank you for your time and attention. Cassandra Ventura Fine. You know what's interesting too? She writes all of that, but yet she was going to write a tell-all book. So writing your tell-all book was not bringing you this same pain that it took you to write this 2-page letter. Listen, Julius.
This ragamuffin, terrible one-hit wonder. I'm so broken, but yet when the late beautiful Kim Porter went on to the ancestral land, wanted to run back to him so quick, lying, conniving, horrific heifer who said on the stand she still loved him, with her husband right there, needs to take infinity several seats, sit down somewhere. And I got plenty more to say. She is a professional victim. Professional. Y'all heard me right. Professional victim. She was so, that ragamuffin heifer was so scared for her life, but yet she wasn't scared when he was sitting off in the back. If she was with the sex worker in the bed having fun, he wasn't laying hands on her, and the guy came out and said that himself. He was just sitting back having fun. Ooh. Or how about her friends tried to get her away, but yet who still was with him with the get down, Cassie? Who called the D dealer to get the substances? Cassie. Who participated in whooping her own friend? Cassie. So that professional victim ragamuffin can go somewhere and sit down. And who tormented Kim Porter? Cassie. Because she wanted to be the it girl. She wanted to be number one. And everybody came out and said that Cassie did some threatening, some intimidating things as well. Oh, but yet, because she was pregnant on the stand, she went through all this trauma because she had it hard. Nah, excuse my language, miss me with that bullshit. She needs to infinity turn around and face the wall and shut up somewhere. I am tired of that dried up ragamuffin. She needs to hush. But she can't because she needs the attention, because she's a professional victim who likes to be in the spotlight instead of truly doing her hearing. Guess what, Cassie? Hear me well. Shut up, you professional ragamuffin heifer and victim.
Thank you, Julius. Amy J, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. I do believe Cassie needs Diddy in jail because she wants to occupy spaces in the industry. Even with 30 million, she still wants that life. She wants that life, and so does her husband. And I heard that the third baby name was a name that references when her and Diddy was together. It's a mess. Callie, your thoughts?
Oh, it's actually her firstborn is named Frankie. His alias It's Frank Black.
Was Frank
Like most
Black? Frank
celebrities
Black.
have
Right.
aliases so they can like, do stuff without saying this is Sean Combs. He used the name Frank Black. So she named her first. I personally think that she might have thought that was his kid at first. Because why else would you do that? But this is the thing. I feel like what's happening is easy for Cassie to be this victim and roll with this delusional narrative that she was like groomed and all of this stuff, than for her to be this deplorable woman who did all this deplorable stuff to try to get some money from a dude. You know what I mean? Look at, and he's dated both of these women. Look at how people talk about poor little old Lori Harvey, and she ain't bothering nobody. They talk about this girl literally like she's an S worker. To our knowledge, she wasn't doing none of that stuff over there that Cassie was over there doing. We don't know anything about her doing. Cassie was doing deplorable stuff. Stuff that I would rather be taken up out of here than to do the stuff that she was doing. And she was not being forced to do these things. She wasn't. And not only that, this is the delusion. She's not the victim in these charges. He is being charged with transporting 2 men over state lines. I don't know what in the world she's even talking about. I feel like this article was planted like they've been doing to play with the media to essentially brainwash the public into believing a narrative that did not happen in this trial and was never happening in this case. She is not a victim of these charges. So I don't know what she's even talking about being a victim, blah, blah, blah. He's not charged with anything you're a victim of. In fact, you admitted you did the same thing he did. You actually should be charged with the Mann Act as well. You really should. This is ridiculous. There's a big part of me that will always wonder, if this was not a black man with a woman who wasn't black, would this be happening? Because I don't see nobody lobbying for Charlie Sheen to be locked up for 10 to 20 years. Nobody, not one person. And I know many people watched that documentary because nothing else was on TV. I didn't see nobody coming out saying, put him in, lock him up, go arrest him, charge him with something. And Charlie Sheen was doing worse than what Diddy was doing any day of the week. I mean, he pow-powed a famous actress in the arm. Kids taken away by CPS. Like, I completely DV up the yin-yang, but with several women. I mean, it is just on and on and on. It went with Charlie Sheen. It's just insane. Allegations from another man. All of this stuff. I don't even want to go down that road. But I feel like one of the things that has happened with Diddy, that's something that's really bothering me. I feel like he has become a punching bag for people to release their racism that they have to hold in. Because now this is a black person who's public enemy, so I can act out upon him. Because all of this stuff that he needs to go to jail for 10 years and for the rest of his life. And are you kidding me? For transporting 2 adult men across state lines, and both of whom have come out and said that they didn't feel like they were being trafficked? All of this stuff that Cassie is saying in this letter were things that they said could not be proved in court. He was acquitted on every single thing she's talking about.
That's
so
facts.
I don't even know why she's even still talking about this stuff. Again, it's to manipulate the media. And I think the real fear is the fear of his mouth. I don't think she's in fear of him physically doing anything to her. I think she's in fear of, she know if he get out that jail, we're going to be seeing that documentary, and the way the world looks at her is going to change dramatically, because a lot of people still do not know what happened. A lot of people still do not know what happened in that courtroom, because most people have to work. They're just looking at these news sources that were reporting half of the story, reporting stuff wrong, misleading headlines, blah, 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 blah. That's why a lot of people still think that she was some sort of victim. You making a bad decision to be in a toxic relationship with a dude because he's rich is not the same thing as you being held against your will. And she was not just merely trying to leave a freak off. She was leaving with the man's bag and the man's phone. Yes, he is dead wrong. He could have just snatched his stuff back. He did not have to attack her, but she was not being attacked because he didn't want her to leave. She was taking his stuff. So this is what I'm saying. This chick is delusional. And if Diddy get out of that jail, I'm telling you right now, you will not be able to shut him up, because this man is almost 60 years old. He might feel like, I got to clear my name. I don't have anything else to lose. Matter of fact, if he wanted to physically do something to her, you talking about putting a man who's almost 60 in prison for 10 years, what is to stop him from making that call from prison? Because that's really going to make him want to take you up out of here. None of this makes any sense other than the fact that she's just being vindictive. And I think, like I said, it's to keep him quiet. It's not that she's so physically afraid he's gonna, no, she's afraid of his mouth. And I honestly think that the prosecution has that same fear as well, because they literally tried to frame this man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of her.
Yeah. You called it though, girlfriend. You called it. She afraid that he gonna run his mouth. But
Yeah.
see, traditionally,
Open your mouth, Diddy.
Traditionally, I'm gonna be honest with you, is not who he is. Because literally, he could have said some stuff that would have got a whole lot of more people in trouble, but he was taking that hit himself in that courtroom. He could have said some stuff about a whole lot of people, but he didn't. He didn't. Felicia, your thoughts?
Oh, hey everybody, listen, I've got a lot of thoughts, but I'm going to keep them simple. I want all them lying hoes locked up. That's what I want. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I want them in the jail. I want them
one
in there
by
for perjury. I want them in there for extortion. I want them in there for bribery. I want them in there for falsely claiming certain matters and taking it to the court. I mean, I don't know how much of the document folks saw up there, but yes, Kelly, I agree with you. Cassie's repeating stuff in this statement that was not proven in her case. And I agree with you, Diva. She's insulting the jurors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's saying all 18 of you,
woo!
All 18 of you is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you something else. I've been thinking about why she's so confident when she come out talking like this. I'm wondering if she was part of the reason why that juror got thrown out. Right? Because she got a lot to say about the jury. See. So I'm wondering now, was she part of that whole thing? Well, no, this one, what was it? Juror number 5 or 6, one of them had to go. But more important,
number six
was number 6. But more importantly here, and I don't know how it's supposed to go, but for some reason, I'm believing that if you really believe that your life is in some kind of danger, or you're going to be exposed to some dangerous person or people, that the judge can make a ruling in that court that this person cannot come within whatever, something greater than a restraining order, of which you so beautifully pointed out, Diva, that she never filed. She never filed.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, she never went to the police.
She was petrified.
She was terrified. She was terrified. And when her friend called the police,
heathen victim.
what did you say?
No, go ahead and finish talking, Felicia. Let her talk.
I recall when her friend Morgan had called the police on her behalf after she'd gotten boxed around, beaten around, busted around, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they were at the door. She didn't say a word. She had nothing to say. She had nothing to say. She didn't have to say, she didn't say thank you for coming. She didn't say, gee, my friend called, but I'm all right. Nothing like that. So no, she never filed a police report up to and including right now in this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to be the one to remind everybody there was no minors. And if Cassie was in there lying about some minors, well, that didn't come true. And if Cassie had been lying off the record that there was some kind of dope, drug, substance, some kind of mood changer in the baby oil, well, she had to say on the stand that there was nothing in there. And in fact, when she was up on the stand, she admitted to having a consensual sexual liaison with her ex-boyfriend when she was with her then fiance, who was going to be her husband.
Mm.
And she had it a couple of times. Yes, she did. So I don't understand why, if there is a problem here, that because I don't recall, and like you said, Diva, there was 5-6 years in between all of this. I don't recall anybody testifying that he had been calling, texting, threatening her. I don't remember any of that. But I remember a text where she told somebody that they better show her X, Y, and Z, because she was going to cut them if they didn't. And if she didn't do it, she was going to get somebody to do it. So, you know, she may think that the public sees her as vulnerable, but she's not vulnerable and she's not innocent. And I'm really done with her. You didn't show Mia. Mia put her statement up there. Devontae put his statement up there. These people are on substances, the $2 hoes. They have no integrity. They have no dignity. They got no job skills. They got major problems. Cassie knows she's doing the dope. Just because a doctor write it for you don't mean that you're not still doing it. You're talking about you rehab, but he ain't rehab.
Now you psychic. You know how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. You God.
But I'm asking if she contacted him. Is she, you know, she's Grace Jabari on steroids, huh? Yes, she is.
Yeah, she
is Grace Jabari on steroids. The person who needs a restraining order when he gets out on Friday is Mr. Combs from her. She's a problem. She cannot
she's a
walk
stalker
away.
at this point.
Yeah, she can't walk away from this relationship. She feels she is owed, and you have not paid in full.
She still wants that thing.
I'm concerned for him. Because any contact, he gonna get clinked. Okay? She claims that she's in a, what'd she say? An unknown location. She probably down there in Florida. You know, these women are dangerous. Grace Jabari was unrelenting. She wanted to see Jonathan Majors in the jail for 20 years because he would not commit to her.
Because he was running away.
Yeah, he was running away. He was running away.
He covered her. And he covered her when the police came with a whole blanket so she can have some grace and mercy. And her body.
Dignity. And you know what? You should have left her laying there in her vomit, trying to say that she's going to take her life. Just walk away. Why don't people learn how to walk away? He gave her the credit card, gave her this, and that. And she took it all the way. She flew back in here and got on that stand and told her lies. And this Ventura chick is worse than that. He was found not guilty by a group of his peers in a courtroom. And you have the audacity to tell the judge the people
got it wrong.
I'm done with her. And I'm confident that any of those jurors, because listen now, it is August, September, it is 3 months. I have not seen one of them who were in the final, voting piece do an interview. I didn't see nothing in writing. I ain't see nobody on the TV. Nobody saying I was a Diddy juror, because they know how vicious this woman is. They're waiting for this sentencing. They're waiting to see who's going to come forward, because they're going to do the exposing. They're going to come out and tell you the stuff that we didn't get to know that happened in there.
Well, let me just say this real quick, Felicia. Remember, the alternate spoke.
Yeah, he said the
Remember
tape
he
was.
spoke? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said nobody believed Don Richard.
Right.
He spoke. He told us some of the truth, and he said it was ridiculous. I'm paraphrasing, that they kept playing that DV tape over and over again, and it had nothing to do with the case at hand.
But he wasn't in final deliberations.
No, I know he wasn't, but the point.
So we're waiting to understand when it split. Remember the first time they came back, they said we can't come to a decision on one of them, but we got the other three or the other two. And the judge said, no, go back. Okay? She done tampered, manipulated. She's done a lot of dirt. But before I finish here, I got to talk about Regina and Roderick Ventura. Okay? Those are Cassie's low-life parents, two hustlers out here. They too wrote a statement on behalf of their daughter to the judge. And they said to give a light sentence in this case that involves such vicious abuses of their daughter's body, her safety, her dignity, is to dismiss her very existence. To sentence lightly would also send a dangerous message, they wrote. A sentence that is handed down in months instead of years sends a message that such repulsive behavior can happen without meaningful consequences. Well, I wanted to remind some folks that during the trial, and on the stand, it was discussed after Ms. Ventura broke up with Kid Cudi. She made back up with Mr. Combs, and she invited him up to the family home in Connecticut, where her mother and father was and her brother, and he spent 4 days there in the house with the Ventura family. What kind of message did you send your daughter then? How dare this couple, this mother and father, say this is a dangerous message when you allowed that so-called monster, that man that you was going to beat up, the one who tried to extort your money and abuse your daughter, you let him in your home. You didn't push the door in. You didn't force his way in. You welcomed him in. And for 4 days, he did whatever he wanted to do to your daughter under your roof. I want these people charged. I'm sick of all of them. They have no ethics, no morals, and they have no place in this court demanding anybody's freedom or their money. I'm done.
I appreciate you. So the parents want the judge to punish somebody for what they allegedly did to her daughter, but y'all didn't raise your daughter to let your daughter know that money is not the end all be all. And Cassie came out of her own mouth, because they was initially trying to say that Cassie was with Diddy when she was underage and all that. And Cassie came out of her own mouth and said at 19, from 19 on, he started the this, the that, the whatever. You know, she got to miss us with the BS, because over here, we not playing those games with her. Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm scared to talk. Felicia scared me. When I told you to go off, God, leave Felicia, you went off. What else would I say? And that's the thing. She said that she was scared that he was going to take her stuff away. She didn't say she was scared that he was going to unalive her. She said he was going to take her car, her money, her apartment. You know, so what are you scared of now? And then another thing, he was out when he gave you that money. But did he come after you? No. And he wasn't locked up at that point in time. And then also, I don't even think it's her. I think that guy making her write that letter because he know if Diddy gets out, Cassie gonna be right along with him. I think he making her write that letter. Because from my understanding, Cassie wants to be with Diddy. She ain't got with him because he didn't make her the main one. She wanted to be the one he married. And that didn't work. So that's when she went to this fine man. And he do not have the status that Diddy has. So his ego is burned. So I feel like he making her write these letters so that Diddy would stay behind bars because Cassie benefits from Diddy. She don't unbenefit from him. But what this guy got, you was a trainer. I'm not saying trainers don't make no money, but I'm quite sure you're not making the money that Diddy had. And Cassie is still in love with Diddy because if she wasn't, she would have named that baby Frankie from the alias that they was using at the hotel. And he's a weak-tailed man anyway for letting her name that baby that, knowing what that came from. So he was all in it for the money as well. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that he probably making her write these letters. I ain't saying that she ain't doing it on her own, but I think he got her writing these letters because he know for a fact if he Diddy get out, Cassie gonna be right there trying to get back with Diddy because that's who she wants, not him. But that's all I got.
I appreciate you. I'm hitting with Callie on this. She wrote that letter because when he gets out, she afraid if he's going to run his mouth. But what she should know is and realize though that he signed and she signed. They both signed the NDAs once the lawsuit happened. So she should know it's not going to come out through him. It would have to come out through somebody else saying it and not him. I think she's full of it. I think she wants to rewrite history. And I think the way she's trying to rewrite history is keep pushing this narrative, how she had no culpability in this situation. It was all Diddy, because now we throw around the word grooming like it's nobody's business. So I know, A. James, you've been writing in the chat and I see you and I'm hearing you, right? So she wanted to say, well, it is Tina Turner and all these other people that got beat. Do they have some part in this situation or whatever the case may be? Let me just say this, and I'm saying this as respectfully and as humbly as I can. In 2025, someone being in a DV situation, in Diva's humble opinion, is not the same as when 1970 or 50 or whatever of someone being in a DV situation. In this day and age, with the internet, with social media and everything else, things are different. We have that girl, what is her darn name? She was on the Phil Donahue show, Catch Me Outside.
Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. One minute she's online talking about she leaving the boyfriend, he keep punching her eye, beating her up. We saw from her own ring cam video that he slammed her on the concrete in front of her own house that she pays for. So you don't even need money from him because you're the one with the money, and you allowing this man to slam you on your concrete, okay, and constantly beat on you. At some point, what can we do if you yourself don't want to leave? Give me 1 second. Thank you, Timothy, for this super chat. I truly appreciate you. I don't think Cassie parents didn't write any of the letters. The lawyers wrote the letters, and if the judge gives him 11 years, then it's going to be downright wrong. 11 years for the Mann Act is messed up. It's beyond messed up. But what I also don't think that this judge is going to be prepared for, he's not going to be prepared for the backlash, the outrage, the chaos that is going to happen if he comes with a crazy sentence on Friday. Because I'm telling you, all you have to do is Google. I'm talking about people who unalive people. And some of them just straight up walk free. Others did not even do anywhere near 11 years. So this is total insanity. But I want to back up to Cassie 1, disrespecting the jury. It's a total disrespect to say that the jury did not get it right. That is high level disrespect. And also, just like they've been doing, the prosecution has been doing, she is asking the judge to give him a sentence, not based on what he was charged, but based off of feelings and everything else. That's not how the court should work. Cassie, I know she went through a lot, but she's alive. But at some point, like I'm pointing out with some of these people, you're getting beat down. You can get help, but you're choosing to go back. And so when you finally decide to leave, you want to come to the general public and ask us for a refund and want to say you was groomed, you was this, you didn't have the money, you didn't whatever. No, you stayed because you wanted to stay. And I know it may be hard to hear, but
don't forget, Diva, she was going with a guy older than Diddy. Remember?
One second, please. The truth is the truth, and the fact is a fact. Bad baby, she done left this man, went back, this, that, and the other. The girl makes millions. It's her house that he's beating her down in. So we got to raise up our self-esteem. Know that that man that you with now that's being you, he ain't the end all be all. It is okay to be alone. I'd rather be alone and alive with my face with no black eyes and no bruises on me and you beating on me than have a man in my house that is beating on me and treating me like trash. Bad baby is not the only current one in a DV situation. And 1 minute they online telling us all their business, how they getting beat down and all that, but then they want to stay. Respectfully, Cassie did the same thing. 1 minute she wanted to cry, the victim, Diddy's beat me, this, that, that. She had girlfriends that tried to help her, and she helped get them to beat down too. And now she wants to come to the general public and she wants us. She already got 20 million. Now she wants the general public to punish a man for something she didn't walk away from herself. We got to stop the nonsense. It's the mess that's going on that we keep telling ourselves. And you got so many people, because if you see the people that come in my comments that stay in the ignorance, the low-level ignorance of Diva. Oh, you don't care that nobody get beat. You a fool. I'm a whole woman. Why that don't even make sense. But I'm telling you as a woman that I will stay single before I get a man that's going to come up in my house and beat me. It ain't happening. And I'm not saying no man will put it. The minute you raise your hand to me, we're good. I'm not coming back. I got a woman, a story I didn't do. She was a whole police officer. So if anybody understands DV and violence, it should be her. She had a man who was a convicted felon that couldn't be around a weapon. She had a weapon in her house because she was a police officer, which he should have never been around. This man was threatening her and her son. She did a restraining order. Then she took the restraining order back. You got to think about the psychology behind that. Your self-esteem is low. And instead of you getting a man, you need to get a therapist. And you need to raise your self-esteem, because you got to ask yourself, why am I tolerating that? And until we have our girls understand that a bag, a shoe, because you made a good point, Katrina. She ain't say no. I felt like he was going to threaten my life. She said he was threatening to put out the sex tapes. He was going to take my house, my cars, my keys, my shoes. And speaking of Tina Turner, she left and had a penny to her name. Let's rise up, people. Because you can't change your situation with the same thought process that got you into it. So Cassie, many people say she didn't write the letter herself. Yeah, I don't believe she might not have wrote the letter herself, but she signed it. She agreed to it. She read it and said, yes, submit that. And I would have read it and said, even if they was forcing me, I would have said, remove at the very least that part about the jury, because that's high-level disrespect. But you want to tell us this man didn't change, but where's your change? When you sitting there writing a letter saying the jury is trash. and tell the judge, since they got it twisted, I need you to get it right. The jury didn't believe that I was forced into the freak offs, but I need you, judge, to fix it and correct it. She wants everybody to fix her life when she needs to go fix her life herself. Like Ivana, what's her name? Ivana Van Zandt. She said, do the work. You saying this man ain't do the work? Well, have you done the work, sweetie? And her mother and father, you writing a letter telling the judge to get it right. Why? Because y'all didn't get it right that whole 10 years your daughter was with Diddy? So now, once again, y'all want to push it off on somebody else. Y'all didn't get it right. Because I would have told my kid, like my parents always told me, as long as I got a home, you could be 30, 90, 100. If I got a home, you always got a place to come back to. Am I shocked that this judge denied the acquittal in the retrial? Absolutely not. He's been playing games this whole trial. I'm closing out. Anybody else before I close out?
I just wanted to just re-emphasize that what she is asking the court to do is to sentence this man for a totally different crime, for something that she feels that she was a victim of. He is not, I repeat, getting sentenced for anything that he did to her. He has not been convicted of any crime against her. So what she is asking is for our federal court system in the United States of America to say, well, because he did something to you he was never convicted of. You never called the police for nothing but tried to get money. Now we're going to give him a harsher sentence for this thing over here that you also did that we already ain't charging you with. So this is a farce. I think it's very dangerous for people to sort of co-sign for our legal system to work this way, especially in the climate that we are in now. This is not how our legal system was designed to work at all. And for us to sort of egg this on and push this on, what's going to happen is it's going to create a precedent. It's going to change case law. It's going to change how the courts work. And we don't want that. We already see what's happening. This is ridiculous that people have this much of a hate for Diddy that they want to literally change the legal system.
They get caught up in it. They get caught up in it. Because you know what's going to happen, Charlie? Let me just say this too. You know what's going to happen? Because a lot of these NBA players, NFL players, they get caught up with these Instagram models and they be sending them 5K, 100K, all of this through you are exactly right. It's going to change the game. And when they caught up in it, then they're going to have a feeling about it. You know what, AJ's, I'm connecting with you. And I want to say this, and I want to say this to everybody. DV is real. There are really some people who cannot get out. But then you got the other ones out here that are playing games with it. Playing games. There's another, I don't know, she's in the rap world or something. She just literally said and showed us pictures of her. I think they married. The husband giving her a black eye, whatever, she about to leave him. And the next video she shows us, they're up kissing on each other and she went nowhere. She went nowhere. But we got to stop playing this stupid game with a serious subject. If the person is beating on you and you going to come online and show the pictures, show the bruises, are you saving like a catalog pictures of when he punched you in March, he kicked you in May, you saving all these pictures for years, you saving skirts and shirts where he ripped and tore. What you waiting for, girlfriend? Why are you still there? I'm about to close out because I'm the. Yeah,
It's
indeed.
still fraud.
Real too. Go ahead, Felicia. I'm about to close out. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it because we're demanding justice and we're
I'm sick
demanding
of her.
fairness here. And we're asking other folks to get up out of their feelings and just get into the facts. But I want to say this before I leave because this is where we start. Yeah, this is where I came in at. And I want to remind the folks about Carrie Morgan. She was a dear friend of Cassandra Ventura, who got choked out and beat up by Mr. Combs. And when Mr. Combs went and grabbed a hanger to hit her over the back of the head, Cassie said she was in the bathroom and didn't know much about it. But a couple of days later, this was all on the stand. This is her testimony. Carrie Morgan's testimony. She met Cassie at a pizza parlor where Cassie gave her an NDA to sign and some money. I don't remember the amount. It wasn't a lot. And after her friend signed it, she said, you know, you made a big deal out of nothing. No, ma'am. No, sir. I don't want to hear your pity party story tomorrow or on Friday. I want you to take your $30 million, your 3 kids, and your husband, and your no good parents, and go away. What she has done is cruel, unjust, and unethical, and it was allowed to go on in a court in the United States, and they're continuing to allow her. And I will also say this, I know this to be a fact. It is highly unusual for victim statements to get published in mainstream media before they get read. So they're really desperate there. They're desperate. They're trying to win people over. And I'm not certain why, but we'll see. To God the glory, that man will be out on Friday and be with his family. And hopefully he has changed his way of thinking and will stay far, far, far away from these people who have not meant him any good. And he will stay clean from the drugs and the alcohol. I'm done.
Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He has 3 days? Tomorrow's Wednesday, after tomorrow, 2 days. And I just read something that the sentencing is going to be at 10 a.m. It's going to be interesting to see what this judge does. It's going to be interesting. But, you know, at night with all of us, at some point, you have to live with the things that you do, right? And I know I understand her pain, because sometimes even just regular relationships, you get mad at yourself saying, why did I stay that long? Why did I spend that much time in this relationship? I'm not even talking about DV. Sometimes you just know you're in a relationship that you know is dead, is not feeding your mind, body, and soul, and you just stay there. You overstay your welcome. And then you say to yourself, you're mad at yourself afterwards that you stayed that long. She's mad at herself, but she needs someone to blame. She's mad that she allowed her body to be used the way it was used. She's mad that people had to hear that she allowed herself to be peed on. She's mad that people had to hear about the sores in her mouth, about the sores in her other openings on her body. She's mad that people had to hear for days on that these things were happening. She's mad, and I don't know, this one guy went dark, one of the sex workers, that he came out and was telling all of her good business and making her situation sound even worse. How she liked it, and she loved the way that he sexed her down, and that she allegedly, you know, had his was at one time had his baby in her belly. Now he went dark. I don't know. They swept him under the rug somewhere. But she's mad that all of this smut is in the streets, and eventually she will have to explain it to her 3 children, because when you Google her name, I'm sure this stuff is probably going to come up in a pair. So she's mad. And so her way of combating that anger somewhat is to make sure that the narrative after all of that stuff is this bad, dirty monster who did 11 years in jail because we finally got him is the reason why I suffered through all of those things. So we're never going to address the elephant in the room that this was about money. This is about prestige. This was about being in the limelight. Everybody in his life, and the females, they was fighting to be the number one chick in his life. And different pockets of them got mad about some of the other ones because they felt, even though these situations from everything we heard was horrific, they felt like so-and-so was getting a better deal than them. So Cassie was mad because she felt like Kim Porter was seen as a higher level, even though allegedly Kim Porter went through her stuff with Diddy, but Cassie just felt that Kim Porter was the one. Then you had, I think Gina, she felt like Cassie was the one. All of them was fighting to be the number one. And from everything I heard in that trial and heard him say, he was very clear to most of them that this is what it is. I'm giving you this money for what you know you're going to do and the role you're going to play in my life. And you know you're not going to be here, and know you're not going to be at the kids. And every year when I go on summer vacation or whatever vacation, holiday vacation with the kids, is Kim Porter going to be there when she was still alive, and the other baby mamas and my kids, and y'all going to wait over there to the left till I call you and say it's freak off time. Listen, people, I done spoke enough. This live took me in mad overtime, but I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. If there's any lesson that you learned tonight, as a woman, as a male, because there's some males that are going through it too. You have options. And trust me, because you can never get back, a memory that you had with something like that going on. Choose to leave with nothing. Because, when I watched some of these interviews on other YouTubers, the Shannon Sharp interview with Country Wayne, that man said something that was so profound to me. He said, I can always have the opportunity to make more money, but I cannot get back time. Leave with a penny in your pocket, knowing that if you're breathing tomorrow, you will have the opportunity to make more money, but you can't get back your time. She's mad at that decade of her life that was darkness, and it just is she. But you know what? You are not your yesterday. Live in the now. That was yesterday. That is gone. I'm living in the now, and I'm a different person now. And you know what? Let him get the punishment he's supposed to get, but I'm not going to put 2110. Listen, everybody, I love you. Thanks for being here. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo, choo. And listen, if you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
And have some self-respect and morals.